Is there a glitch? What the heck? So apparently trader weight is down. Let's see how the view up reacts for this. Volume is increasing a little bit. Okay. So view up did not hold. Market can be sideways completely today, to be honest. So I'm not expecting much. Don't see any information on the website for some reason, so let's hope they're aware of it at least. Okay, do we get rejection or view up? Technically that's higher level, so could just chop today. That's the thing. SPY is right at view up and Q above view up. Okay. Yes, just getting rejected at view up. The SPY is below view up now as well. Not crazy liquidity at the moment in the market either, to be honest, so not sure. Let's see. SPY and ES is right at VWAP, so let's see. QQQ, everything is above VWAP. Seems to be synchronized at least. I don't know. Synchronized might not be the right word, but so 3. Everything with SPY is above VWAP. SPY it's ES. Everything but ES is above VWAP. ES is below VWAP. Now it's getting changed. Not to get long here, but trade over it is fucked. Like this is fucked. I don't think there's any yesterday, I'm pretty sure. Till 2 p.m. at least, of course. Tomorrow at 30. Earnings today. just I need to see what's coming in. Doesn't seem like it. Yes, buy both below view up. QQQ right at view up. And Q is at view up as well. Okay. Both broke view up. And Q and QQQ both below view up now. Spy is below view up as well. View up. View up. It is what it is. So that looked good to me, to be honest, until like it broke down rejection. Tried breaking down. This got bottom. I don't know what this fucking candle is. This another rejection. Let's see how this candle shows up. SPY is just below you up as well, so that's a good confirmation. ES is getting rejected at 21 EMA as well, so that's not bad either. That's a good confluence as well. I mean, I'm still okay with this trade, but the longer it stays there, the chances of it playing out are low. It needs to go kind of stuff, like the momentum. But there's no momentum right now, which I do understand. This could, I don't, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, he puts it here, I think. I don't know. Yes, is trying to break down a little bit, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's. I mean, if it still goes up, I don't know, man. I got nothing. I got nothing in that case. At 26,200, there are 78 contracts ready. There's some liquidity coming in the market now, and the left part of the chart does show. Left part of the YouTube video that we see. Let's see. This is crazy price action apparently. Some buyers showing up apparently, for what reason I don't know. And there we go. It's just liquidity building up right now. Will wick it, but then probably go down. I mean, some liquidity over here as well, so if that's what it's supposed to do, that's what it's supposed to do. This looks pretty good, to be honest. Like, ES is going to previous day high. This is fucking far from previous day high, so NQ, there's no point. Let's see how the rest of the stuff is playing out. Tesla. Okay. Tesla earnings. What does the daily chart looks like on Tesla? I don't know. See, the same thing happened on ES yesterday. NQ yesterday. NQ ES is below opening range right now. ES is at 50%. NQ is at 50%. I may if it doesn't break from here on. I got nothing. ES previous day high. It will probably bounce. This will take out liquidity at that point. NQ will ES will come to view up again, I guess. Then do some bullshit, fake out, chop, do this. So what this will do is just chop here, stop out, and then probably come down. I'm guessing. I mean, guessing game of guessing. 15 minutes has 5, 10 minutes. Look, I mean, what? Usually the days like this. There's indecision in the first candle, second candle got sold, third candle got sold. Okay, there's no gap coming in, so there's, as per Mr. Matt, there's a good chance of reversal coming in the after hours apparently. So let's see. That's not bad now. 500, okay. So ES is right at previously high. Wow. Haha. Let's see how the reaction is at previously high. 215. There's some contracts, some buyers coming up. Twice that happened. NQ is still here. Okay. It's either 115 or 725. Either or. I'm not gonna budge from that. Yes, NQ. It goes above 400. It is what it is then. All good. That's a good trade. 400 bucks, not bad. On ES would have been what, 500 bucks. Damn. same dollar value. Okay, so this trade to big me out over here, me and put it over here. Ferrari, I guess. Dirty, dirty. Pushes like this, reversals. So, yes, if it. So that was the range. It broke below that range. VS comes, rejects this again. Might not be all that a bad trade. That rest a reward of something similar to this. Previously high rejection. Overnight low. pretty good. Like this. Rejection came here, took support in the same zone. Previous day high. Ooh, 811 contracts at 26,200. What? Ayo, 26,200. Is there a lag or something? Oh, 10-second lag. 811 contracts, that's crazy though. Still 811, 812, 26,200. On NQ, 811 contracts. What the fuck are you talking about? The book just got so freaking thin. Doesn't seem like it cares. Until unless it gives a rejection from view up now. I'd hesitate, to be honest. NQ is doubling down, I guess. NQ wants that liquidity. Wow, 20, 812, 813 contracts. Holy shit, man. What kind of account do you have? Trade of it. Simprop. Simprop account. So, why? Okay, let's try to understand. Why would sellers want to get filled with? The seller wants to make money. The more they sell, the more the price goes down, they'll make more money. Someone wants to buy 818 contracts, 14 contracts, whatever, at 26,200. The more they push down, they're going to get money out of those contracts. Someone's going to use that, right? Somebody's going to get out of those transactions. There's a passive order setting at 26,200. Now, if it goes away, if it doesn't fill, that's a different story entirely. So, if the market goes down to that liquidity, which is per se 813 contracts, 814 contracts, that means more money for the sellers, right? Whoever is exiting out from top of it, more money for them. Same thing. That's why market tries to look for liquidity, right? That's who's the market? Us. That's why we look for liquidity to exit out at the price that we desire. Okay, now it got spoofed. Those contracts are gone. Price started coming down, and those contracts are gone. 800 contracts are gone. 811 contracts. Poof. Now, this is the problem. A previous day high right there. Let's see if sellers still want to continue that price, or they're just going to give up. No continuation. So rejection seems to be coming from view up at SPY. It was close at least. I wouldn't say it was right on the money, but it was close. decision. Seller seems to be still following through on their decision of selling out the market. Spies right at PDH. Yes, it's below PDH. 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 Okay, while the market's doing this stuff, I just want to go ahead and record that.
Let's move along to question number 2. Let's get into the overnight. There's no neutral, but luminous will. Probably not range virtue if we get on into it. 5. Where are we at? 5 at 145. Kind of rhymes, right? FOMC. The main reason I'm trying to say this is the analysis stands ahead of FOMC. I would say it's less influential as we approach FOMC. You've got to remember that, kind of anything goes based on Powell's commentary over here during the press conference. All right? So the analysis is valid for the first 2.5 hours of the day. After that, I would say it really starts to become less about this and more about just watching the techniques. All right, anyway, the big idea that we've sort of been talking about is a dip of a toe into the value area range, noodles around and comes back out of value. This is bullish, expecting a rotation and a test of the overnight reference points all-time highs. Right? Overnight all-time highs should not be the end-all be-all all-time high. I would expect that needs some repair. So a dip of a toe into range tests the longs. Right? These longs start to feel like, ooh, okay, a little uncomfortable. If we can pop back out of it, that to me would be bullish here. Right? This generally would indicate a hold of this level 70-17, 70-15. Right? That's that. If the market just goes straight up opening drive in the first, let's just say the first 5-minute candle looks like, rectangle please. First 5-minute bar looks like this. Okay, a little bit of a different story. The risk reward profile is not as good, right? The idea of trying to buy this right here is such that you can say risk reward to the upside, right? And there's some reasonable range that you could travel to an upside target. If this just starts to flag out, let's say, in here, you're flagging out, you're doing your thing, price is, kind of stabilizing. Let's just say we've got an upward sloping VWAP underneath us as well, like this. I mean, you can still technically try risk reward longs into the high, but just notice that it's, you've got to find a much tighter setup here. Much tighter setup for that particular trade to unfold, right? So that's why this, in my view, would be the preferable way to get long on a dip of a toe into the previous day's range that comes back out with a higher low above. That would be picture perfect. That would be ideal. We shall see if that ultimately plays out, though. That's the big, that's the million-dollar question, as always. Let's back off some of that. Not all of it, just some of it. And let's keep going with our pathing. So that's why this path makes sense. This one, we'll put it in a white crayon, upside drift, and then, question mark. And it's 10. This would be 80, and then this. All the path. Apply some pathing. This would be the most, these traders offsides underneath the 7,005, right? Can't go zoom fails, sip and poof. I can't destroy this one yet. So once again, live at 145 FOMC, this analysis. So let's just say this pathing. There we go. Valid pre. Okay, there we go. All right, let's just grab that and let's rock and throw that in here. right, ES pathing out there in the world. I haven't seen links. MCO2, good morning on the clock. We're doing fine on time. Different numbers. You've got your over. You want to line with the hold for 1 hour. And, well, I don't know about you, but this was expansion, right? Really, ever since the April lows, huge expansion. Control. What would be the expansion? Once. So, sorry. This is pretty much sending us towards, it's going to be off because of the futures contract roll here, but this is in the cash market sending us to the all-time highs basically. So with that understanding, once again, it's like after a 3-month consolidation to break out of the top end of the range, and we've seen overshoots, so I have to be fair, we have seen overshoots in this market to the downside primarily, right? We've seen some overshoots. Could we get an overshoot here? Yeah, possible, which is why we need to be responsible about our trade location, right? Gap fill reversal would be ideal here. High or low, firm up the top end of the range, use previous resistance, newfound support, right? Something that looks like that. That's like textbook. We don't know if we get textbook, but that would be ideal. As long as these things hold true, as long as we're over this level, I would maintain more of a bullish stance, all right? So that's my take here on the NQ, at least from a higher time frame perspective, using that QQQ weekly chart as an illustration. But let's drop it down to the hourly. Let's keep moving. And let's take a look at what we've got over here. So once again, substantial gap up, thanks to the SMH and thanks to the lack of, no XLF headwind. Okay, so this is like thank you. This is like thanks but no thanks, and you're dodging it. So with that, I would tend to think that you, once again, want to maintain a bullish stance here, but you just have to be careful on the gap up. Chasing gap and go, not always the most lucrative, right? Tends to be, okay, longs late to the party, get punished. Patient longs, pick it back up here, and then you're good to go, right? That sets up your firm high or low. So that's the nature of the NQ. If we do continue to the top side, we have a level up here at 425, 26, 425, for those who are curious about the number. That's it, 26,425 there, just above the overnight high. And then the all-time high, I don't think I have not the cash, but the futures level mapped. We have the overnight all-time high, which was set there, but the on the intraday, very well. Again, looking for a minute chart, and let's take a peek over here at the 15. So the gap is much more substantial. We know this. ASML Semiconductors, all the equipment providers, equipment manufacturers are moving very well. Again, look no further than AMAT even, or Lam Research. So this stuff looks great. But once again, we just need to be a little cautious of where we're at ultimately in the trend count. Opening on a big gap up like this leaves a little bit to be desired. It's possible. Longs late to the party, buying it up here. If they're disappointed off the open, there's more room to go and close this gap. So the gap is more tradable on the NQ, which means the gap rules are probably pertinent and worth covering. So let's do that now. As always, the 3.5 questions will blast through them. We're opening over range, true gap up. Here's the value area high. It is elevated in the profile. We're opening clearly towards the upper third of the overnight range. Inventory is skewed net long, probably to the magnitude of 80%. Okay, so your 3.5 questions definitely align with gap rules being tradable, so let's get into those now. Point number 1 of the gap rules tells us that we want to see a test and failure back underneath the overnight high. And what this does is it takes longs and it makes them disappointed, right? Anybody who is buying this, buying this, suddenly starts to feel disappointed. So a test and a failure back underneath the overnight high is number 1. Number 2 is we want to see a failure back down underneath the opening print. Opening print, right? Why do we want that? Because screens will go from green to red. And if screens go from green to red, it's much easier to get involved on the short side. So there's your opening print, let's say, OP. Fantastic. Point number 2 is you make it here. Number 3 is that we target the gap close, right? So let's say target 1 equals gap close, GC. Fantastic. That would be here. Okay, how big is this gap is the next question we should ask. Is it too big to be trying to fade? So let's call it 115 to 263. No, it's right in that sweet spot. 100-point gap is well reasonable on the NQ. If it was like a 300-point gap, I'd be worried. If it was a 250-point gap, I start to get worried, but 100 points, well within reason here on the NQ. So this is, a reasonable target for today. You could close the gap in one session, right? So that is that one. We all know that there is esoteric gap rule number 4, which we'll pop in over here, which is hashtag GWAGFI. We all know, go with all gaps that don't fill immediately, right? So if we get something that's not true, if this is not true, if this is not true, right, then go here, and that's where we say, okay, if we're over the overnight high, if we're over the opening print, we probably want to go with, right? So that would be number 4. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. At the gap fill, you're looking for gap fill reversal, retarget opening print. This is 3A. 3B is GFR, retargets OP, opening print, right? Because then this is 3A, this is 3B, and this ultimately just sets a 1 hour high or low, right? And that's the sequence of the gap rules as it comes to the NQ for this morning's session, and that's how I'll be thinking about it. Remember point number 5. I don't know that I would be a big believer in point number 5 today just because of FOMC, but we'll just, we'll identify it anyways. If value area, right, if value area cannot get overlapping to down today on the prior day's range, then we would say odds of LDR, late day rally, increase. Okay? So that would look something like, let's just say we kind of bounce a little bit off of 3A, but we're like maybe here. And then we're just sideways, kind of like this. I think it's less probable, less important with FOMC. But odds of a late day rally would look like that, right? Typically we'd say like 130 and beyond. But with FOMC, I just don't think that it's not really in play that way. All right. So that's a little bit of what we got on the NQ in terms of the gap rules and the framework to use ultimately to get involved on either the long or the short side off of the overnight high and or previous day high, right? So that framework is very important to carry forward. It happens, you could apply this to anything that's on a gap. So we're not going to have time to get to every single semiconductor name that's gapping up. So as you're here right now, if you're interested in trading an ASML, if you're interested in trading an AMAT, if you're interested in trading an LRCX, if you're interested in trading I don't know if STX is still opening on a gap, but any of these memory names, MU for sure, TSM, the gap rules apply to these just like it does the NQ futures. Gap rules apply to anything, and all it's doing is taking advantage of human psychology, right? The idea here is that you want to punish longs who are chasing this at the highs, and as long as those longs are feeling punished, right, that's where you have the availability to short underneath the opening print as screens are red. Okay? So these rules apply to those names that are gapping this morning on the memory semiconductor complex, equipment complex, right? We'll let this simmer for a brief second. In this second, I would like to acknowledge things that happened in the chat that I must have missed earlier. Siege kicked it off with 5 gifted memberships. Welcome to the 5 new members from Siege's very generous gift. And then
Okay, so that was the gap rules. I need to study that deeper. And let's check these ASML, AMAT. Google ranking. Gap up, fill the gap. Wow, wow, wow. That's crazy. Previous day high, rejection. Wow, yes, was probably a good opportunity today. Fucking Google, you good, bro? What the fuck? Just not even close to filling gap, but okay. Wow, Google, googly, googly, goo. Chill the fuck out, googly. Yo, entire market is going to shits or what today? Okay, I'm going to go eat, sleep, eat, read, sleep, and that's it for me today. Bye bye.